This is the Hanging with A podcast.
All right, what up? This is the Hanging with A podcast, episode 45, coming to you always from Brockton, Massachusetts. Before we even get started, I want to say thank you to everybody who watched episode 44, who watched episode 43. I really appreciate all the love and support. The Hanging with A podcast is monetized now. That does not happen without the support and love of all of you guys. I thank you very much for sharing. I thank you very much for liking, subscribing. It really means a lot to me. You have no idea. Hangway Podcast can be found on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, pretty much all over the place. So I just want to say this. Thank you very much for all the love and all the support. Got a special guest. He was on with me for episode 26 when he was starting, kind of like starting out his musical journey, just trying to figure out what he wanted to do. I had him come on here and talk about all the incredible things that he was doing at that time. I call him the Young GOAT. That's his nickname for me. He is by far my favorite artist out right now. I definitely put him in my top 10 as far as rappers out right now. He just dropped an incredible project. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give to you YVN Legazy.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me.
What's up, man? Nah, man.
That was a
I'm
great
happy.
intro. It don't get better
No,
than that.
no problem at all, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how I feel about you, man, and your music and what you out here doing. So just um, how's everything been, man? Like, what's been going on since the last time, we sat down and had a conversation.
A lot. I mean, first and foremost, the scenery. I'm not in the basement anymore, so that's a good thing. That's a plus. Shout out the basement though. What else? Just been growing as a human, as an adult, as an artist, as a producer, an engineer. Just overall, just trying to, become a better version of myself every day, more and more. So
Yeah,
just really just embracing the adulthood and this next chapter I'm in right now. And
yeah,
just going all in. I can't back out now. I'm like too deep in to like try to, oh no, I can't do this anymore.
yeah,
So yeah, definitely just embracing everything that comes with adulthood and everything that comes with being an artist, an independent artist, a producer, an engineer, everything. Just embracing everything. I finally opened up the studio, so I've been having a lot of sessions at too. And yeah, just been working on music, dropped the tape. I actually just shot visuals for one of the songs on the tape. Should be dropping very soon, most likely after this drops. But yeah, man, just embracing everything, just taking it all in, enjoying it, working hard, pushing more, and just not giving up. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's what I love to hear, man. And I see all the hard work, man, and everything that you put it in. You mentioned, man, like you made a studio. You have a studio now. Like, what made you like want to like start a studio and open up your own studio?
Well, I always wanted my own space just to like create music,
Yep.
and being in the basement of my parents' home, it wasn't really like something that I could do. Like I could obviously have certain friends over, but I couldn't have my friends over like I would want to like here right now. So like for example, if I were to hit up, let's say like HOF, I'll be like, "Yo, what you doing? Let's record. Pull up." You know what I mean? Like I could tell him like, "Oh, pull up." And if he has somebody that he wants to bring or whatever, like yeah, they can come through, no problem. You know what I mean? Because it's like now it's my space, so it feels good. It really like it's like a full circle moment, like I was in the basement like just wishing and dreaming like, yo, I want to have my own space to make music, not only because like the booms and the loudness was like bothering my parents, but also because like I said, I wanted to have my own space to bring my peers over and my friends over and like show them music and hang out. Sometimes like me and my friends will just come in here and we'll just like watch videos in the studio, just sit here and just watch videos, smoke up, take a couple shots and just chill. You know what I mean? So it's like this is really like my safe space now. Like it's become like the place I come to whenever I'm feeling any type of way. So definitely like opening the studio was a dream of mine, and not only for my personal reasons but also for like musical reasons as well. Like I wanted to expand myself and I wanted to be able to work with others without having to like just I'm not really a email kind of person. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
really send out email. I don't send out beats. I always tell people, you want to work, you want a beat, cool. Come through. We can make the beat in person, live. You can tell me what you like, what you don't like. No problem. You want to hop on it? You want to make a rough draft? Cool. I got the mic right here. I can engineer you. You don't want to record it here? That's fine by me. But the point is, like, I like working in the studio with the person, and I've learned that it helps more. Like, you get things done faster, more efficiently, and you can always pick up off each other's vibe. Like, if, for example, if I were to send an artist a beat pack right now, let's say 10 beats. Out of those 10 beats, probably like two or three will get like actually touched, or like, oh, he'll like record something, or oh, I wrote something to this. You know what I mean? But when you're in the studio with someone live in real time, you guys are not only getting to know each other musically, but at a regular human like level. But you're also like picking up off of them, like their reaction, their body language, their oohs and their ahs, and ooh, that's nice, and ah, yeah, that's hitting. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
way
yeah.
easier for me to work like that rather than just like, oh yeah, just make me a beat and send me whatever. No, I don't like sending whatever because I know I can make something great. Like I have like songs in the stash that I just produced and engineered that are like out of here, out of here. So it's like, why would I just like settle for sending you a beat when I could just, I have my studio. You can come through. You know what I'm saying? You could bring your guests. It doesn't matter. Just let me know how many so I could, prepare. And then that's it. We'll cook up. You know what I'm saying? You just want beats. You don't want to record. That's fine. That doesn't faze me. But as long as we did it live and in person, I know for a fact once you leave out of here, I know I'm gonna get something with that beat for sure. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it could be one, but I know it for sure. You're gonna walk out of here and you're gonna make a song, rather
yeah.
than me sending you 10 beats and you just making one song. I'd rather make one good song than just one mid, halfway, not really. Because you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, people need to realize like producers, engineers, like they're really the backbone to all our favorite artists. Like people always like, oh, Drake is amazing, but people don't talk about how 40 puts in that work.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah,
40 does give him his flowers. I mean, Drake does give him his flowers, of
yeah.
course. And a lot of people are starting to now realize, but like producers and engineers are really the backbone of our favorite artists. So it's like I'd rather build a connection and a relationship with an artist I just met, or even an artist I've known about for a while and I'm starting to work with, by having them come through and like, yo, let's sit around, let's get to know each other, let's make some beats, let's see what you're feeling. If you want to record, for sure, let's do it. If you can't record, or you don't want to record, or you don't feel comfortable for whatever reason, there's plenty of reasons why. Cool. But I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna send out. I rarely send out beats. And the only ones who really get beats from me, like through email or like through messages, would be like Ricky, Ricky Rez, um, and Beto and Dre. And that's like very rare. Ricky's the one that I usually send beats to just because of the distance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
he's another one too. Like, I'll sit him on FaceTime and I'll cook up on FaceTime while he's there. Like, nah, you're not hanging up until I'm done with this beat and you tell me, like, yo, send me that. I need to hop on that. Once I get
Yeah,
that reaction out of anybody, I'm like, all right, cool. You can have it. But until I
yeah,
get that reaction, I'm not, you know what I mean? So that's why, like, having the studio now and having this space where I could come through and, like, bring my friends. Like, just 20 minutes before I got in this call, I was recording a song. I had my boy here. He was just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Kick back, just helping me and watching me record. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot of different reasons as to why the studio is just like such a safe space for me. And like this room in itself is just a really safe space. And it's amazing. It's amazing to just look back at where I was and then like
oh,
look
yeah,
at it
yeah,
now and be like,
yeah,
damn, like we came a long way. And this is just a start. Like this is merely just like scratching the surface. So it feels good. You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah.
definitely just feels amazing.
I yeah, like I was watching episode 26 last week. I'm starting to kind of like get a chance to go back and watch a lot of episodes that I've done in the past because I'm in the moment right now. So when I'm putting the episodes out, I'm not really watching them back like right away.
Hmm.
But I had a chance to kind of watch episode 26 that we did together and like listen to the album also and just to look at the growth, man. Look at where you started from, man, like where you at now. This is a project that you have been telling me about for a long time through text messages. Hey, this is something I'm cooking up. This is something that I'm doing. This is what it's going to be titled. And I definitely appreciate you, man. Like, letting me be probably one of the first people to hear it
Sure,
because
man.
I
You
thought it
had
was,
to. You had to.
yeah,
You had to,
I
man.
thought it was incredible then. Um, and I have so much. just so much love, man, and so much respect for you, man, and for like what you're doing with your music. I'm always going to support you 100% whatever you're doing, because I believe in you. The
Nah,
producing
likewise.
aspect, the producing aspect of what you're doing right now is also amazing. Talk to me a little bit about like what it has been like for you, like producing your music, producing others, and being able to produce music and then sit on the music also. Like, how's that been for you?
Uh, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so producing music for me, it's a bit of like a win and a lose.
Hmm.
Cause I'm very, I guess you could say, like, I'm very detailed, or like I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my music or any
Yeah.
music in general. But like when it comes to mine, I'm very like, okay, no, I'm gonna hold on to that. Just yet, just give me a few. I wanna like tweak it, go back, add things, take things. But like overall, just being able to like sit here and this table and just like, oh, cool. You said you wanted a drill beat, but you said you wanted to have like Jersey halfway, but you wanted the melody to switch. Like just being able to be so technical and like learn more and more as I go, and be able to like sit here and like produce a song from start to finish for somebody or myself, whoever, no matter like the genre or like what type of rap exactly it might be. Like that's easily one of the best feelings in the world. Like I talk about it all the time. Like, yo, producing is probably one of the best things. Like, and investing into like learning how to properly produce and how to do things and how to use my software properly. Like, easily one of the best investments I made, because it's like not only is it helpful and beneficial for me, but it's also beneficial for others who come through as well. Because I always say, like, you can be an engineer, you can have the latest equipment, but if you don't know how to use it, it's pointless. It's like you can have all the nicest clothes, but if you don't know how to dress, then you look like a bum. Respectfully, like, it's just what it is. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like being able to like every day like take some time to just watch a quick YouTube tutorial, or like just watch a quick cook up and like learn from their workflow and add it onto mine, and sit down and try new things and make different type of sounds. Like, it's just overall like it's an amazing feeling. Like, I love it. Like, honestly, like I I always say it, like I told you the first time, I never really thought about being a rapper. So like me, I wanted to just produce. Like, I wanted to just, you know what I'm saying, go at it, be like the next Metro Boomin coming out. And obviously, I'm not mad that I started rapping. I love rapping as well. I love singing. I love making music. But producing is overall one of those things where like it's the best feeling. Like when I'm sitting here making a beat or whatever, like I'm cooking up a melody, chopping up a sample, whatever the case may be, and I'm getting those like, okay, like you killing that right there. Like, that's 100 times better than like I don't know what, but it's just an amazing feeling overall, and I love it. I just love it. I love the process of making music. I love the sitting here and let's take a break and let's come back to this, and you know what I'm saying. The whole, if you don't fall in love with the process, you can't really say you love music. You can love music, but if you don't love the process, which is like the most annoying or hindering part, then you really don't love music. You just you love the art, you love what it stands for, but you gotta love the process too. It's all part of it.
Yeah. No, no, no. I mean, you. That's definitely right. Talk to me, man. About. I want you to go. I want you to take me through um, your mindset, man. Your inspiration behind the Legacy versus David tape that you just put out, man. Like, um, which again, I've said this probably like 3 times already since we opened the podcast. If you have not listened to that, you definitely need to go to Apple Music, tap into that. It's an incredible, great body of work. Um, I mean, you just cover so many things on that album. From you're doing the singing, you're doing the producing, you're doing the rapping. You have so many different speeds that you switch up on, man. And I just want to know, man, like, like the title. The title's Legacy versus David. So why Legacy versus David?
Um, I had a hard time coming up with a name for the tape.
Okay.
Mainly because I didn't know which way I was going with this tape. Like, the first half of the tape, or when I first, let's say, started working on this tape seriously the first time, because like I eventually stopped and like put it to the side, and I was like, I'm just gonna make some music and have fun like I used to. The first half, which is basically like the David side, the more emotional side, I was going through like a heartbreak and all. So music being the therapy it is for me, it was just like, you know what, cool, I'm gonna just put that out. But then like eventually it became a very like, I was very like just opening up and talking more about the things I've gone through in my life and my childhood and certain things that I don't really like address in my music
Hmm.
because I've never been the type to like always talk about my childhood or my past. I always like try to like talk about the present and like aim for the future, you know what I mean? So it was one of those like I started to realize like I'm getting really deep with some of my songs and even some of my friends and like close peers were like you're getting deeper with some of the songs and like it's good, like it's fine. So I was like, all right, cool, like I'm gonna just let the train go, you know what I'm saying? Keep making music, see where it takes me. And then eventually I started like, okay, cool, like I realized like these amount of songs I have this many that are very emotional and deep and have like a serious meaning, and then these are more like artist wise, like these are just like me showing my artist skills and my skills as a producer and an engineer and what I could do and what I could bring to the table. But these other songs were more like I'm talking about my childhood and things that happened to me when I was a kid and why I don't live with my mom and these are like, you know what I mean? So it
Yeah,
was one
yeah.
of those things where I was like, okay, I can separate them. If I can separate them but still put them together in a way that it all sounds like sonically like good to the ear, then I have a tape. So then that was really like the hardest part of it all. Like once I had like a good certain amount of songs, like I was just sitting down every day and like rearranging songs from top to bottom and like no, maybe this song will sound better here, this song will sound better there. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me work on the legacy side first and get that out the way because that's easy. That's just like gotta find the hard hitting songs, nice 808s and all. And then once I got to the David side, it was more like, okay, let's see, let's try to like, you know what I'm saying, switch the emotion. And one of my favorite songs, believe it or not, from the tape is Interlude because it really
Mm.
like I feel like it really helps with the transition from Legacy to David because it's an emotional song if you listen to the lyrics, but now if you just listening to like the actual beat and the instrumental and just like the song overall, you're like, oh nah, this is Legacy. This is like a nice like interlude, just like a little switch up. But if you listen closely, it's one of those like, oh nah, he's really like now he's getting like deep and personal, you know? So the name really like I was stuck because it was either like me versus me or me versus myself, and I'm like everyone's already done that,
Done
and
that. Yeah.
you know. So I was like, what's really standing out? I remember I was actually having this conversation with D Money, and I was like, what stands out from this tape the most? Like, tell me. He was like, you're not only rapping and showing your skill set, but you're also, you know, getting more personal and like talking about yourself and your own life more. And I was like, Legacy versus David. And he was like, yeah, right there, that's the title. Don't overthink it. Right there. Legacy, the first half is Legacy, the second half is David. And then like don't really tell people until they figure it out, and then whoever really figures it out is like, oh, okay, this is Legacy, this is David. And yeah, that's really like how I had to come up with the name. Like it was really just a matter of trying to figure out where I was headed with the tape first and like
Hmm.
what I wanted to do with it and what I wanted to get across to the people, to the listener. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like I could have just grabbed a bunch of like my unreleased songs and like put them in a playlist and like okay, cool, here, tape. But like it was more than just like putting these songs together and that's it. It was like they have a meaning to them. You know what I'm saying? Even like the A side, like the legacy side, even those have a meaning because I'm still talking about my life. I'm just talking about my life as an artist, like you know what I'm saying, like any other rapper would. But like once you switch to the other side, it's more personal. And like I've had a lot of people hit me up recently since I dropped the tape, like yo, the David side, like it's crazy. Like you need more music like that. You need to like talk more about the stuff you've been through and all that kind of stuff. You gotta get more personal with your songs. But they're like, oh, but still, don't forget, you gotta still like give us that legacy too. You gotta give us the hard knockers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it was a good it was a good mind teaser of mine, you know. It was picking my brain for a minute, but it was good and I'm glad that I settled for that name and kind of just left it there. You know what I mean? I sat on it for a couple days. Eventually, once I showed you the tape, I showed my friends the tape, how I had it in order. They were like, "No, that name is perfect for it. Like, you really did your thing." So, yeah, no, I'm just glad it's out now. I'm really just glad it's finally out on all streaming plats, and I could just finally like, you know, enjoy the fruits of the labor and just start a, you know, have a fresh start, fresh clean slate, and get to work on new music.
Yeah, yeah. No, I I mean, I love it. You know what I mean? I think the creativity that you put behind the project, is incredible. You can see that you're fighting with yourself on the album. You know what I mean? You have your vulnerability, and then you have the legacy side. And me and you have had conversations about this in private about, um, and like I talked about it on the intro of the album, just how just your flow is like different. Like you're very introspective. You're a storyteller. You don't want to do the normal thing that everybody else is doing. You know what I mean? You don't want to
At
do the
all, bro.
same boom bap, the same I'm gonna have all this money in the video. I'm gonna have all this. Like your lane is like totally different. And I feel like on songs like I feel like songs on like Long Way, right? Long Way is a legacy. You know what I mean? Like where you're just going in. That's like one of my favorite songs by you. And then you switch gears and you got How Life Goes. You know what I mean? My favorite part to How Life Goes is how honest you was in the first bar. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
cap for the rap. You know what I
I'm not
mean?
gonna
I'm not
cap
gonna
for
put
the
up a
rap.
front. You know what I
I feel
mean?
everything, man.
I've been going through things. I'm like, man, like, okay.
Because
You know what
it's
I'm
a human
saying?
thing. Like people fail to realize. I feel like this is just like my personal thought. I always feel like people fail to realize that artists are humans too, and like they go through things and they have ups and downs. Like people think that being an artist is just like the highest of the highs, and you're all the way up there, and then like that's it. Like you're just up, you're on cloud nine. Like you don't have to worry about a thing. Nothing's gonna happen. No, life still goes on. Like life is still gonna move on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one that I remember making that song specifically. Like it was one of those songs again, having a conversation with D Money. He was just like, bro, just talk how you feel. Like tell him what's been going on lately in your life. Like talk about it. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Don't try to like, you know what I mean? Just vent to the microphone. Like if you gotta turn your light off, whatever, but just vent. And I was having a hard time at first, and I was like, yo, bro, like I don't know how to hop on this beat. Like this beat's tough, and I don't really know. Like I don't want to get like emotional. He's like, dude, you don't have to get emotional. Just talk how say what you want to say. Say what you think they gotta hear. And I was like, all right, cool. And then like 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, I like called him back, and I was like, yo, how does this sound? And he was like, nah, yeah, you killed that. So like I remember like one that song right there is one of those that like hits home. Definitely that one and Late Night Freestyle Part Two.
Yeah, late
Definitely
night.
two songs.
I have that right here on my list of like I mean, I love the whole project, but like my favorite songs, the intro, Long Way, How Life Goes, Late Night Freestyle, Stability, Focus. Um, I mean, I love the whole project, but like those are like my favorite. Those like the ones that I just like if I'm in the car, if I'm, getting ready for work or if I'm at work, those are the ones I put on. You know what I
It
mean?
does.
And then
I mean,
I'll let the album go all the way through after I've listened to those songs a few times and I just let it just play all the way through. But I always have to, those are my go-tos. I'm like, all right, let me go
appreciate
and hit
that,
the
man.
intro. Long Way I love because I feel like, again, my favorite verse on Long Way is when the beat drops and you were like, I don't want to butcher the verse, but you were like, sat down with my guys
Oh,
and was like, fuck that. We're not waiting for a label.
for a label,
Like
yeah. I
that
sit
right
down
there,
for
I
that.
was like, okay, like you on some boss shit. Like we not waiting for that. Like we gonna
Yeah,
go ahead and
fact.
do our thing. That's like my favorite. That's my favorite line in that song. I'm like, okay, like because the beat drops at the right, like the beat drops and like you just go in. So it's like
Yep.
you start off and then the beat drops, and when the beat drops, you can tell like you in your pocket.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean? And
Nah, I
I'm like,
was.
man,
I
that's
definitely
crazy.
was. I
Yeah.
was too, cause I was like, yo, I'm shooting the video on my phone. I don't care. Like, I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for nothing. Like, I don't care about that no more. Like, if I sit here and wait, I'm not gonna get nothing done. You know what I mean? And that's like word of advice to anybody. Like, whatever you got going on, like, if you just sit there and wait and like, oh, I'm gonna wait for the right time. The right time is never gonna come. Just
No.
go. Just do it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's like it was one of those things. Like, out in those moments, like when making the song and around the time of making that song, where I was like, I'm gonna do it myself. Like, I had just moved out. So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it myself, and I'm gonna keep doing it myself, and I'm not gonna wait. You know what I mean? So definitely, but yeah, nah. For me, definitely, it's either Interlude or Late Night Freestyle Part Two. Late Night Freestyle Part Two is just one of those songs that, like, no joke, I cried while recording the song.
Mhm.
Like legitimately, like in the middle of recording, had to stop. Tears came down, and I was like, all right, cool. This is a good song. That's when I was like, yeah, this is a good song. If I'm crying, this is a good song. And it was just one of those, like, I had to just talk my shit. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't hold back. I feel like throughout the whole tape, I'm really just talking my shit. But the those songs, like for example, like How Life Goes and Late Night Freestyle Part Two is one of those like in my bag, in my moment, in my
Yeah.
zone type of songs. You know, like Long Way
Yeah.
as well. Like it puts you in that zone where like it's you versus yourself. It's nobody else. You know, and that was really like what I was trying to get across with the not only the cover art but the title and like the whole project in itself was like at the end of the day like it's only you versus yourself. You know what I mean? Like it's not you versus this person or you like you know what I mean? So like it wasn't only like a tape to show people like that side of me and that, but it was also in a bit like, you know, like a message just like, yo, remember, it's always you versus yourself. It's not you versus anybody else. It's you versus yourself. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So like definitely like I've been getting great feedback on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just glad that it's out. Like I said, man, like having to listen to your music through your notes, it's annoying, you know? So like finally having it out and, you know, having the video being edited and dropping in a few as well. I'm just excited, man. I'm just excited for the rollout. I feel like this tape had one of the best rollouts thus far for myself, especially considering the fact that it was an all solo tape too. Like I didn't have any like of my regular features on there. And I wanted to, but then I was like, no, since it's a me versus me type of thing, it's best if I don't do features. I'll just save the features for another time or like
Yeah.
I'll drop videos, you know? But overall, man, it was just one of those like I was in my once I realized what I wanted to do with the tape, that's when I really locked in and really started like, this is gonna be this and this is gonna be that and like started putting the pieces together to this puzzle, and it's just a beautiful like image. You know what I mean? Like I try to create an image for the listener, whether like and like you said, I was gonna get to that when you said how you just get in the car and you're on your way to work or you're at work and you just that's really
Yeah.
what I make music for. You know what I mean? Like I could sit here and tell you like, oh, I make music for the gangsters and for this and that. Nah, I make music for the regular folk, the one
Hmm.
who has a 9 to 5, the one who goes to work and picks up the kids after, the one who has to walk their dog, or the one, you know what I mean? I make music for those people too, mainly for those people, really, because like not everybody's gangbanging, not everybody's on the streets, not everybody's selling drugs. Some people have regular jobs, some people have a regular life. You know what I mean? And yeah, they're gonna listen to that music, but eventually after some time it starts dying out. You know, it starts
Yeah.
going out and nobody wants to like listen to this or listen to that or listen to this specific artist or that specific sound. So like that's really like my thought when it comes to like not only this tape but like every other tape that I always make is like I want people to be able to listen to this music not only when they're sad or happy, but even on a regular day. Like, oh, you're walking the dog, you're cleaning the house, you're washing your car. Cool, let me just put some Legacy on. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's definitely like one of my main thoughts and like ideas that I keep in the back of my head when making music or like tape wise and stuff like that. Or like even regular singles. Just like reaching that like middle line where it's it's for like the people who really listen to hip hop, the real hip hop heads who you know what I mean, but also the people who just like happen to know me or just like ran across my music or on Instagram or on TikTok and were like, "Oh, he's nice. Let me go check him out." I don't want you to just have to listen to like a plethora of the same type of music. I want to switch it up. I want to do more pop, more Jersey and more this and more that, but also at the same time making it relatable and like just overall making it feel like, oh yeah, nah, like I felt what he said, like I fuck with what he said, like nah, that makes sense. I've been through that, or I felt that, or I'm going through that. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
definitely, it's just that's just what it is. Like I don't know if it's called like conscious or whatever, but you know what I mean. At the end of the day, I just like making music that people can really relate to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No.
really like grasp.
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, and again, like we've had this conversation. I said that's what your music is. You got to stay the way that you're making music. It's going to set you up for the long term success. You know what I mean? Because they can't put you in a box, right?
Yeah.
Because you can produce, you can engineer, you can sing, you can be vulnerable. You have so many different things working for you versus somebody who's just, oh, I'm going to trap on every track. I'm going to talk about money on every track. Okay, like you said, sooner or later you're going to fizzle out. You know what I mean? And somebody else, the people that are being authentic and being them true selves is going to stick around. I always tell people all the time, you know what I mean? Drake just was here in Boston for his tour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drake has been around for a decade. He's probably gonna be around for another decade because when Drake came in the game, he came in the game with so many different things. He was singing, he was rapping, but he also was being himself. I come from a two-parent single household, right? I spent time in the summers with my dad. My dad wasn't really around. My mom is an English teacher. I was on Degrassi. You know what I mean? He never changed who he was. You know what
And
I
a lot
mean?
of people would like think like with the bars and what he says, like, oh, he's trying to act gangster. Nah,
No,
bro, it's mm-mm.
no. He's
I
just
don't.
he's rapping. It's the same thing as like J. Cole, right? Why is J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and artists like that still on top of the game? It's because of the stuff that they're rapping about. You know what I mean? Like Kendrick
Trust
Lamar
me,
came out with Big Steppers and Big
Mr. Morale,
Morales. What he
great
talking? What
album.
is he? He's talking about what we are going through as a society. He's talking about what he was going through for 6 years. He had another baby. He's talking about the way that you know what I mean. Like how on social media all we doing is clout chasing. You see, he
Hmm.
said it.
He
Clout
addressed
chasing,
all
hell
the
of a
world's problems.
disease.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
hell of a disease. We all have to. We all wanna. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. No, just stay in your lane. Like Nipsey Hussle said, God rest his soul. Stay in your lane. There's no traffic in your lane. Stay in it.
For,
You know what I mean?
for
Don't
sure,
get
bro.
out your lane to go be in somebody else's lane. Like, what are we doing here? You know?
Nah,
Um,
for sure, bro.
yeah, like how life goes. So I wanted to ask you this on the podcast. The production on that song. Did you produce that song?
I actually didn't. Shout out to KF Hitmaker on YouTube.
Okay.
I found him, so shout out to him. He's an amazing producer. He's from I forgot from where, but he's very far. Like he's not even in this country. But I remember like I was scrolling to YouTube. I was having one of those moments where you have beat block and everything you make. Like beat block for me is very different because like it could be a very good beat. It could be an amazing beat, and I might even hop on it. But at the moment, right now, it's not what I'm looking for. So I just save it and like leave it there, or like somebody might hear it after and be like, "Oh, I like that beat. Let me hop on it." All right, cool, do your thing. But beat block for me is like that. Like once I'm stuck, like I can't find a good sample, or like the melodies I'm coming up with aren't really like getting to me or like catching my ear. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go on YouTube. Let's find a beat. And I found that beat on YouTube. It was a Lil Baby type beat, and it was literally called How Life Goes. That's why I
Mm,
named it that. And I was just like, damn, like what should I like? What should I say? Like, what am I gonna talk about? Like, you know what I mean? How am I gonna like approach this beat? And then like I was like, How Life Goes, and I'm like, you know what? And then that's when I had that conversation with D Money when he's telling me he's like, oh yo, you need to like just vent, just talk your shit. And eventually, like once I heard that beat, once I heard the sample, I was like, okay, nah, this sample is tough. Like, wow, like that sample was amazing. And when he dropped the beat, I was like, yeah, nah, this is the one.
yeah.
Downloaded it, recorded it, and I had it sitting like literally on my phone for like months. Like I just had it sitting there. Went back to it once I got the tape ready, and I was like, I'm gonna drop this. And at one point, believe it or not, once the verse starts, the first line I said, last bitch made me feel like I'm worthless. I was actually thinking about changing that line. And again, conversation with D Money, because I always call him for like music stuff, and I'm like, yo, I need help with this or that. He's like, why are you gonna change it? And I'm like, because I feel like it's like OD, like you know what I mean. He's like,
No,
how
keep
did you
that.
feel? He was like, how did you feel? Worthless? He was like, I was like, yeah. He's like, all right then, keep it. What the hell? You're not lying. Like it's the truth. And I was like, all right, cool. Now you're right. You got a point. I see what you're doing. I
Yeah,
see what you're doing.
yeah, you
So
got to
yeah,
keep that.
no, definitely shout out to KF Maker. Shout out to D Money too. No bullshit. He helped me a lot with
Man,
this tape.
D
He
Money
put his
man
work.
I mean, for y'all that don't know, I can't wait for him to come home and put his music out, man. He is a diamond in the
Yeah.
rough, man. I have music on my phone from him that is incredible. That I listen to, that he sent to me, just like to get my, hey, what you think about this? What you think about this? What you feeling about this? Everything that he sent me was amazing. I talk about you. I talk about you, D Money, and K all the time when I on my podcast episode. Shout out to
Shout
K
out,
also.
shout out K for
Um,
real, man.
she's also getting ready to come with some heat. I just don't think, you know what I mean, and like I mean this. I don't think that there's nobody better than you three making music right now. and also Jadon. I'll put Jadon in there also. You know what I mean? I
Appreciate
don't think there's nobody. I don't think there's no other four MCs right now making music better than you four. I like
appreciate
I
a lot.
I just
Yeah.
I don't see it. Like I would put you guys up against anybody. If somebody gave me four and they said, okay, match my four with your four, you guys would be my four every single time. And I think
Going
I would
rapper
win.
for rapper.
Right. I think I would win every single time. You know
Nah,
what I
for
mean?
sure,
And like,
most definitely. Yeah, I believe
you
that
know what I
too.
mean? I would win every single time. I just it's just different. But you know, I was watching Angie Martinez, who's a big inspiration of mine. She did the Biggie Smalls Life After Death 25 years. And the thing that's so like we're still celebrating that album. The album came out in 97. It was a double album. It's like one of the first of its kind. And the thing about that album that makes it when people are talking about producing and what they did on that album, the beautiful thing is Biggie just was so honest.
He
He just was
was.
so honest.
He really
He was
was.
telling stories, but he was telling stories about his life.
His
He
own
wasn't
life,
telling
yeah.
stories about movies, about other gangsters. No, this is my life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like when I listen to like because like when I listen to Legacy versus David, I think about J. Cole's The Warm Up,
Mm-hmm.
right? That same type of style, that same type of like flow. I feel like that's what it is for me. I feel like that is your warm up right there. Like just top to bottom, just a flawless tape. Hey, this is what I've been going through. This is what's been going on. I'm back now. This is what I'm going to be doing. Y'all need to tap in and tune in. This is where I'm at.
For
So
sure, man.
I
Appreciate
feel
that,
like
bro.
that's what you. I feel like that's what you did. I feel like that's what you did on this tape. I'm like, all right, like and like when you sent me the songs, because like when you put it together on the album, it sounded totally different from when you like just sent me the drafts. And I was like, I said, okay. And I listened to all those tracks. I listened to like 10 times, literally 10 times. And I was like, I said, he got something here. I said, he has something here. Let me just see how when he finished the finished product, let me see how he moves everything, how he puts everything. And then when I heard the finished product, I was like, yeah, it's exactly how I thought you was gonna move things around. You did it exactly that way. I said, all right. I said, this is it right here. So
Yeah, for sure.
shout out to you, man, for that, man. The videos, man. Like how many videos are you gonna come out with for the project?
My goal is
Yeah.
really just to shoot videos for every song on the tape. Every
Okay.
song. I like you said, this is my warm up, and I feel exactly what you said because that's exactly how I felt with this tape too when I was about to drop. I'm like, this is my first solo, like no features, no nothing, just straight me. It's been a minute since I dropped the tape too. Like people are gonna hear a lot of different sounds, and I'm like, I don't want to let it up. I don't want to just like drop a tape and do a little bit of promo and then just like boom, like 3-4 months later it's over with. No, I'm like, if I have to drop a video for the tape every month, I will drop a video every month, and
Yeah.
that's it. You know what I mean? If that's what I have to do, then that's what I will do. And it's one of those things where I'm like now I really feel my foot on the gas, and I'm like putting, like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm getting that drive again where I'm like, okay, nah, I'm not letting up, like, because the people feel like that's another thing, like as an artist and a human, like we all go through things, I go through things, and it's like sometimes it'll discourage me to like want to make music. It'll like push me back a few days. Like sometimes like I'll just be like overwhelmed with just like my regular like book sessions.
What else is inspiring you these days? Like what's inspiring you right now?
I'm not gonna lie. Life is really just inspiring me more because right now I'm just, like I said, I'm embracing adulthood, and I'm like really understanding like what adulthood is. So it comes with its ups and downs, and it's honestly inspiring. It's not one of those things where like I look at it as a negative, or like, oh, I'm down bad or something, like I'm glad to say that my mentality has changed over the years, and like now I look at things different, like even when I have like a minor setback, it's just like, okay, cool, it's a setback for a major come up, like it's fine, like, you know what I mean? It happens to the best of us. And overall, just like life and just experiencing just like new things and going through the motions of everything around me and society, and even though I live in a small state, even though it's the smallest state, it still gets crazy over here too. So just experiencing everything around me and like this new chapter that I'm in, it helps me a lot with my music because like I said, like we've both been saying, it's like I only talk me shit. Like I don't rap about this one gangster that no, I talk about me shit. You know what I mean? So it's like I always tell people like in order for me to make music about my life, I need to experience life. That's the only way
Yeah.
it'll really like
Hmm.
work for me. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
so I know people who can like get in the studio and like just write songs or like freestyle and that's dope. I'm not gonna lie. I could do the same. I could freestyle, I could punch in and out. But if I really want that substance, which is like back again to like the first pod that we ever did, it's like substance is so important when it comes to music and longevity in this game. Because you can have the voice, you can have the production, you can have the image, but if you don't have the substance, you're not gonna be here for much long. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be here for that long. So it's like for me, experiencing life and just going through the motions and experiencing adulthood now, like you know what I'm saying? Like like I go back and listen to my music a couple years back compared to now. It's like you hear the difference in like not only the way I rap, but like the things that I'm talking about, and it's like it's the growth. It's like it's part of it. It's part of life. It's part of what I'm going through. So it just inspires me to like go through it and talk about it because I always say like there's somebody out there who's going through something worse. You know what I mean? There's somebody out there who's definitely like going through the same experience as me, probably worse, probably already went through it and is healing from it, and like a lot of people use music as therapy, whether they make it, whether they just listen to it. Music is a very therapeutical, art. And people relate to a lot of things that artists say, whether it's a mainstream artist or even a local artist. Like people feel it, people relate to it, people relate to words and energy, they feel it. So therefore like that substance is what really like I have to have that substance. I have to experience life. Like I have the studio in my house. I can come in here whenever I want, but sometimes I'll just sit in here and I'll just like look around, or I'll just like sit in here, smoke one in here and just like listen to my older songs and like think about like what I used to go through then versus what I go through now and like how it's all changed, and like it's honestly like an appreciative thing. Like I'm glad about it because like it helps my like not only it helps me mature, but it also helps with my like with the way I look at things, the way I look at things, the way I perceive things, like it helps me a lot. And at the end of the day, I grab all of that right there. You give me a beat, a tempo and a BPM and a key, and next thing you know, like you got a song. You got Legacy versus David. You got Take Me As I Am. You got Two Stories. You know what I mean? You got tapes like that, songs like that just come together. So it's really like putting the pieces together like a puzzle again, but then just like okay, here's my small image. Now we gotta blow it up. You know what I mean? So like me going through life is me putting the pieces together, and then like once I blow it up, that's a song, that's a tape right there. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it, like now. And honestly, just my friends inspire me. Like things around me just inspire me. You know what I mean? Like I have a dog now. His name is Louis. He's huge. You know what I mean? So like dealing with him and like being a single parent of a dog. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's just it's overwhelming, but it's fun. You know what I mean? And it teaches me again. It like helps my mentality and how I perceive things and stuff like that. So it's just overall, just life in itself inspires me a lot. Relationships, friendships,
Yeah.
jobs, everything.
Hmm.
Just overall everyday life. You know what I mean? Like I wish aside from like musically, like different artists who inspire me, like my main inspiration for music has always been and always will be music. Life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
life is just a roller coaster. Like I said, life is like a roller coaster. And you never know when it's gonna, drop and go back up and go sideways. And it's like, it's all up to you to decide how you're gonna perceive that and how you're gonna take that. Are you gonna let it be a negative in your life, or are you gonna turn that into a positive, and are you gonna learn from it and you're gonna better yourself? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I feel like being an artist and like putting things into like, cause a lot of people don't know this, but like I listen to my own music on a regular basis to the point where like I'm like, oh damn, like I said that, like that's wow, that's deep. Cause like I listen to my music from an artist perspective, yeah, like oh yeah, no, this beat's hard, this, you know what I mean. But from a regular perspective, a regular human, a listener, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes I say things myself that I'm like, damn, I said that. That's crazy. So it's like you learn from the music, then you re-put it back into life, and then from life into the music. It's just a full-on cycle that just overall, it's just helped me a lot. And like I use my music to like help me grow with life in itself too. Like it's not just like a hobby or like something that I do for fun or for like financial reasons. You know what I mean? Like no, this is like my life. This is all I feel like I know. You know what I mean? So definitely like just going through life and experiencing it, you know, and not looking at it from like a negative standpoint. Like anything I go through, whether it's positive or negative, you know, I thank God for it. And then after that, it's just all right, cool. Life goes on. Like I can't just sit here and dwell on it. I'm gonna learn from it, push forward, and like I always tell my boys, shit. Now I got something else to rap about. You know what I mean? Like that's just new material, new content, more things I could tell people. Because at the end of the day, I always think about it too. I look back and I was like, I never really opened up in any of my older songs. So like, I feel like now I'm really starting to open up and talk to people about like what I'm doing and like my day to day life and what I go through and stuff. So it's definitely one of those things that I'm trying to like embrace as well and do better and like really put that image in someone's mind just through a song. You know, I want them to like really image something that I'm like, whether it's rapping or singing, whatever I'm doing on the track, but I want them to really like image that and like picture it and like, oh damn, like I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't go through it, but you're gonna feel it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
definitely that's just my life inspiration. Just like inspiration is just life overall, just going through the motions, the ups and downs, and everything. You know.
Yeah. No. Before I let you go, man. I mean, what can people expect for you next, man? What's next for you? I know you. You know, you got the project out, man. That everybody, you know, if you don't do anything, please go and listen to that project, man. It's a great one. You got the project out right now. You got the videos coming out right now. Like, what's your next move?
More
what are your
music,
plans?
more life experiences, definitely. Definitely more music. I'm also definitely trying to pick up on the Melody Mondays again. Been slacking
Yeah.
off
We
heavy
gotta
on them.
you gotta get back to those.
Got to get back to those. And I definitely so not that long ago, the last one I dropped was a featured artist. It was Jay Chopper. So that's what I'm
Okay.
trying to do. I'm trying to like feature more different artists rather than just have me like rapping. I want to have different artists and like again show my skill set as a producer and engineer as well, and show people that like, oh, it's not only just singing and rapping and melodizing. It's also like the producing and the engineering that goes into it. So I want people to like also, you know, tune into that definitely. So I got to pick that back up. More videos, more music, and definitely I wanna, one of my goals before the year ends or by the time the year ends, I wanna have at least like two more tapes done, whether it's my own personal tapes or like produced for other people as well. I got one done for HOF. We're definitely dropping that soon. Y'all gotta stay in tune for that because that's super fire. And who knows? Probably K as well. Definitely gotta work on her tape. We gotta get that done because she needs new music out.
Yeah, she does. She does.
I've been telling her, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna start
Yeah.
leaking your songs if you don't drop
I've
them.
been
Like,
yeah, I've been talking to her, man. I've been talking to her too. And I told her like, you got to put the music out, man. Like, you know what I'm
she has
saying? Like you know,
amazing music.
you got to put the, I know, I can only imagine. And, you
She
know,
has
I'm going to have
amazing
her,
music.
she's going to come back on too. When she drops her tape and everything, I'm going to have her come back on. Um, but yeah, I was telling her like, come on, man. Like you know, you gotta give me something, man. Like
I'm like, you
I
gotta feed
can't.
the people. You gotta feed
You
the
got to give me
people,
something
man.
like doing me. I'm listening to doing me all the time, and I'm listening to sending shots all the time, and I'm on a YouTube channel watching those videos. I'm like, man, I need something. Those songs are fire, but I'm like, I need something. You know what I
I
mean?
need
I need
more.
something more from you now. You know what I
Nah, for
mean?
sure, for sure.
Um,
We definitely got a
so
couple songs in the stash for sure.
okay, but no, man. If you could think of like what's an artist out there right now, man, that maybe like people don't know about, I don't know about, that we should be on the lookout for?
That's a great question. I got a couple, man. I got a couple. So I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you three. I'm gonna give you three
Okay.
artists
Hmm.
because like I tune into like a lot of different genres and different types of music. So like you know what I mean. Like I have a lot of different artists. The first one would definitely be Lil Russell. He's coming up right now from the Bay
Okay.
Area.
The Russell Bay
Yo,
Area. Okay.
super fire, independent. That's why I fuck with him. You already know. Like I'm
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
independent wave heavy, and he's like super independent. Um, on the R&B side, I might butcher this name. I might not. Tenerelli. Tanerelle. I'll send you the
Okay.
songs after we're done with the pod.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
she
yeah,
has an
yeah.
amazing voice. Like her voice is very ethereal and like very soft music. It's music that you could literally like put on for whatever, whenever, and it's just overall calming music. I love her music. And Jay Mills.
Jameis.
I don't know exactly where he's from. I want to say he's from Miami or New York, one of the two. But he actually dropped a tape not that long ago. It's called Harder to Reach, and it's very to put it, it's like a J Cole vibe, but also like very modern. You know what I mean? Like it's like a
Hmm.
modern J Cole, and he's actually just to add him to the other guy as well. Aaron May. He's actually signed with Aaron May under the same label, and their music is like it's very like it's boom. I call it boom trap because it's like
Okay.
boom bap, but it's also like trap at the same time. But then when you listen to it, it's very like still boom bap, but then it also has the trap element. So it's just they're super fire. They've been on my rotation for the past like 2 months now. It's just been nonstop. Aaron May, Jay Mills, Tenerelli, and definitely LaRussell. LaRussell actually he dropped a tape not that long ago, if I'm not mistaken. It's called How Much Does a Piece of Mind Cost? And like it's one of those like he really talks his shit. I'm not gonna lie, he's been inspiring me a lot lately. And like the way he just talks his shit, the way he just raps and like you know what I mean? Like that's definitely like one of the artists I'm aiming to like work for in the future, you know, work with or for whichever in the future. So definitely those 4 or 5 artists I just mentioned, you definitely gotta check out. I'll definitely send you the songs once we get off the pod, but
Yeah,
yeah, you
yeah, yeah.
gotta check them
Definitely,
out. And to the
definitely
people
send me the
watching as
songs.
well, check them out as well. To the people watching, y'all gotta check it out. Feel me? Like
Okay.
they're super fire. I'm not gonna disappoint you. I promise. I
Yeah,
promise.
yeah. No, I definitely will check them out. Um, last question, man. 5 years from now, man, like you know what I mean. What impact do you want to have on the world, and then what impact do you want your music to have on the world?
What impact I want to leave on the world or have on the world?
Yeah.
It's a great question. I feel like for me, I'm very big on being myself,
Okay.
and lately, like obviously society and social media and all these different factors that come in play is just I feel like it's taken away from society as a whole from being ourselves. Like we want to show this perfect image on Instagram and everything else behind the scenes is horrible, you know? So like I guess my impact I want to leave on the world would definitely be just like just be yourself, you know what I mean? Just be you. Like be in your lane, stay in your lane. You know what I mean? Like control what you do, control your emotions, control you. Don't try to like go out of your way to control something or anything else or anyone else. You know what I mean? Just be yourself, stay to yourself, and focus. That's really like my impact. The thing that I want to like the world to like really grasp and like for us to get back to, cause like it felt like we were there and then like we lost it. So definitely being myself and my music again. Just be more vulnerable. Like I really want more artists to be more vulnerable. Like not only myself, but like I feel like a lot of artists when they open up, it shows a different side. No matter how many drugs you sold or anything, bro. Like vulnerability is one of those things that people can always gravitate to, because you know what I'm saying. It's you, and nobody can tell you you're right or wrong about you. You know what I mean? So
Right.
definitely like vulnerability when it comes to the music, and then just being yourself and being comfortable in your own skin when it comes to like just my own impact as a person and what I want the world to like remember me as, or like to get from me. So yeah, definitely just vulnerability and being comfortable in your own skin for sure.
I love that, man. I love the project. I love everything you're doing, man. You know what I mean? There's a reason why I call you the young GOAT. Because I
Appreciate that,
just,
man. Appreciate it.
that's how I feel about you, man. How I feel about your music. You already know you are always welcome on the Hanging with A podcast
Oh,
anytime.
for sure, for sure.
Um, you know what I mean? I appreciate you, man, so much for what you do for me. And I'm always going to do whatever I can do for you also, man. So,
Likewise,
um,
man. You're doing a lot for the culture,
my wish
man.
for
You're
you,
doing a lot.
man, is say it again.
No, I'm saying you're doing a lot for the culture, man. You're
I am. I'm
appreciated. You're
trying,
doing a lot,
man.
man.
I'm trying. I really appreciate that, man, because I'm trying. And that's what I built it for. I built it for the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? I built it for people to come on here and tell their stories, and that's what I've been doing, man. This whole month is just people coming on and telling their incredible stories, their journeys, what they love and their passions, man. And I just want to stay in that. I want to stay in that lane. You know what I mean?
For
And
sure,
just
man.
do what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, my wish for you, man, continue to be successful. I'm going to be here supporting you, man, rooting you on all the way,
Appreciate
man. Just
that.
don't change. Don't change who you are, man. Don't change the music that you're putting out because people like me, man, I appreciate it very much.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the support and all the love, man. For real, you one of the goats for real too. You
Thank you,
dope.
man.
What
Thank
you
you.
do for the culture, the interviews, man. Like, believe it or not, I sit here, I'll say, I'm like, oh, a drop, all right, cool. Let's tap in. You know what I mean? So like, you
Yeah.
definitely like you're doing a lot, and it means a lot. It doesn't go unnoticed, man. For real, you're a
Thank you.
goat.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right.
All right, man. Have a good one. You already know. Y'all tune in, man. Don't forget.
Yeah. Definitely tune in.